Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. As per usual, Concrete Banger is back with a brand new episode. Larry King was pretty busy these days, so today's host is once again split personalities and parallel universe, George. Today I'm here to present you our second update for the 1 to 72nd scale T-55 from Revell with kit number 03304. In this episode of our video series, I complete the main assembly of the T-55, apart a couple of parts that need to be attached last for various reasons that I explain throughout the course of this video. Now, before Past George takes over and starts working, you guys may wanna grab a seat and crack the mandatory cold one so you can enjoy this episode. Let's see what he did. Hello fellow modelers, Past George is over here and I am ready to start for the first sub part of part 2 on the T-55 step-by-step build. I'm over here with this weird camera angle because my tripod is busted. I'm gonna need to replace that. So one of these days I'm gonna need to go and fetch another one, but until I take care of this one, we're gonna have to go with this weird camera angle, as I said before. Anyway, we are up to step 8 on the instructions. This step says that we are going to have to place the upper hull on the lower hull, and then the front armor piece and the rear engine deck cover go to step 9 with this part, which is also one of the exhausts oh god, I cannot speak today guys, sorry. This is the exhaust part. Anyway, I'm not gonna attach the upper hull right now. I'm gonna deviate a bit from the instructions and I'm gonna touch the exhaust part lower. The exhaust lower part, I'm sorry guys, really don't know what got onto me. Because before I start, I wanna show you that I have painted the lower part of the fenders over here and over here, because now it is the time for me to do it without messing the rest of my paint job that I have done on the lower hull. And let's start, as I said, from the exhaust part first, because this is probably going to be easier for me. I'm gonna have to wait for a moment for it to set properly in place. This is what you are supposed to be looking at. I'm sorry for the glare guys. Let's move the other parts out of the way and let's attach the upper hull. Let's see that everything, let's make sure that everything lines up as they should. That clicking sound is the part falling in its proper position. I know that I am off frame right now, but that's the difficulties of the profession. You never know when your gear is gonna fail onto you. Alright. fix the exhaust in place properly. Oh, it doesn't want to stay. Give me a moment. Sorry guys. I'm gonna try again to fix the part in place properly, and as always, second time is the charm. And now we have it ready. Next up we have the front armor plate. Which goes in place like this. Make sure that you hold the piece until the gap over here in front closes. Let's hold it for a moment until the glue sets. And now for the engine deck cover. This one is for the Soviet or the Chinese version. This engine cover. You can choose the other ones for the East Germany or Czechoslovakian version. I choose to go for the Soviet version on this one, just because, no reason. And that's what we have now. So step 8 and half of step 9 right now are finished. I'm gonna need to cut some parts of the sprue and be right back for adding the tool holders over here. There are 3 boxes that I suppose that are the tool holders. Anyway, see you on that part. Okay, update number 2 of this weird video that I am as always fully organized. Anyway, we have the things that go on the sides onto the fenders of the tank. Right side, as you look at this, are probably tool holders, as I said, but left side, I am sure for those ones, are external extra fuel tanks. And I don't know why this tank needs so much fuel. What's the deal with that? It has 2 in the rear and a bunch of them on the sides. Fuel economy at its finest. Anyway, I'm gonna start attaching parts. There are location points everywhere, so you won't be able to mess things up by attaching them in the wrong position, guys. I have cleaned everything, and they should fall in place relatively easy. Nope, on the other side. Okay. Now this small part. Oh, okay, it goes over here. I know you guys are in a weird angle right now at the moment, but bear with me. I'm gonna soon solve this problem, sorry. And I'm back. I paused the video momentarily there because, as always, my dog had another opinion. Okay. If anybody knows from the guys that are watching right now and made it up to this point of the video, let me know why this tank has so many external fuel tanks. Why it needs so many external fuel tanks. Okay, I know, like every Russian vehicle from World War II has external fuel tanks, but why so many? Are they supposed to operate on the field for that long, or they just consume fuel like crazy? And with all those things there said, let me know in the comments, by the way. Here it's how it is supposed to look. On the right, on the left side, we have the fuel tanks, and onto the right we have the storage boxes. Okay, normally someone more skilled from me could attach some fuel lines, but I don't have the skill. I don't have the proper wire to attach them, the proper wire gauge to attach it. And I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't feel so confident about doing that. And on the next part we're gonna assemble the real external fuel tanks, and we're gonna see what else I'm gonna have in store. Probably the rear end I'm gonna attach the turret sides over here, where the turret holds itself. So be right back, guys. And We Are Angry video is back once again. We have cleaned the parts for the rear external fuel tanks. There are two different sides. The inner side, and when I say the inner, I mean between those the two barrels. From one side is flat, and from the other has this mark, so you won't be able to mess it up, to put it otherwise. And the outer side, and when I say the outer, I mean that the one that looks this way, that way. From the one side has this one, if it focus, yes, and a sprue mark on an injection mold on the injection thingy majingy, you know, from the inner side, so you won't be able to mess that up either. Now, let me try to get them in place. I'm gonna move them away so you can have a better view. Yeah, right, better view. Apply my glue. Anyway, if you guys want to take a better look at the parts and the process, you have to wait for my slideshow I do in the end of every build. Photos are higher quality than this video, and you can have a better idea of how the parts look. Okay, we have the bottoms of the barrels in place. Let's apply the tops now. All right. Now, how I'm going to approach this? Haven't thought of that. As always, organized. No. Don't be like me, guys. Organize your moves. Okay. That's a fiddly spot. And I think we have it in place. It's this organization. Both words. So there is a gap, you know, the contact point thing. You can see that there is a seam over there. When I'm gonna attach the other barrel, I'm gonna squeeze them to get them as close as I can, and then sand them down to remove this gap. You guys know the drill, probably. Now let's do the other way, the other side with a different way. No, let's attach the side of the barrel first. The walls of the barrel first. I tell you guys that this is more difficult than I expected, and mainly because I do it on the camera. That's Murphy's Law working over there. Whatever go wrong will go wrong. I don't know how much of that attachment you've seen, and I've knocked it out of its place. That's a difficult piece. There is a lot of Greek cursing inside me right now. but I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna be zen. Like the Shaolin monks that taught me. Alrighty. Like a glove. And that's how they look. Now onto the other two pieces. Give me a moment, I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna be right back. What I told you, I'm back. We have these half circles over here that they are supposed to go, one of them is supposed to go over here. Let me see if how well I can position it. Okay, fine tuning over here. And the other one, oh, it flew away. It is supposed to go on the exact opposite side over here. And we are finished up to step 11. Now step 12 has some, 12 and 13, sorry, has some parts that go onto the rear armor plates and the rear fenders. Let me get those parts off of the sprue and I'm gonna be back once again. I know that I say that a lot, but what can we do, guys? You are stuck in here with me. And we are part 3 now, part 4 I cannot remember. Anyway, we are at the point that we are installing some detail parts on the rear armor plate of the vehicle. I took the liberty and installed these two hooks and this small plate that this small plate, sorry, that probably gives you access to the engine bay. And I have also glued the right side rear fender, and I'm gonna glue in front of you the left one, so we have so I don't bore you much seeing the same stuff. And I'm gonna tell you where I am going to deviate from the instructions and why I'm gonna do that after I glue the rear fender. and the rear fender is in place right now. This is what you are supposed to be looking at. Now I want you guys to give me a moment. I'm gonna pause this video, move my camera, and grab the instructions to show you what I'm gonna change, what changes I'm gonna do for the assembly. Okay, here we go. Right now we are somewhere in between step 12 and 13. The only things that I haven't added from step 12 is the spare tracks, because I'm gonna leave them until the end. I need to detail paint them. And from step 13, this wood log, again for the same reason, I'm gonna leave him out, because those are parts that I'm gonna detail paint and the space is too cramped to do that. Step 14 adds more stuff near the wood log, so it's gonna make the space even crampier, you know. And step 15 is only for the East German version, where you add the fuel tank. So no step 15 for me, no step 14 for the time being. I'm gonna skip to step 16, where I move on to the front of the vehicle. So this is gonna be our next course of action, sorry. And I'm gonna totally skip for the time being step 17th, 8th and 18th, because this is where you attach the wire rope, let's call it like this, because as always I cannot remember the proper name, because as you can see it needs to be painted with a different color, of course. And one part of it goes from the front of the vehicle all the way to the back and hugs the wood log that I haven't installed yet, which I can install for the reasons I have told you. So 17th, 18th and the rest of the steps I have shown you have to wait up until the end. So next up we move on to 16th and we go from there. See you when I have the parts cleaned. Parts are cleaned and ready and look how tiny they are. So let's start from the easy things first, which are the hooks in the front. Tweezers are a key here, as you can see. Now move on to the driver's hats. Kit gives you two options for the driver's hats, and since I have chosen to go with the Soviet version, this is the hat I'm going to use. This one is for the Soviet and for the Vietnam version. Vietnam. And now let's move on to this tiny little piece that flew away. Oh, I found it. Lucky me. Okay, this is the way it's supposed to go. These are the lights, the headlights of the vehicle. Like a glove with my first try. Oh, I got that on video. It never happens it doesn't happen every day. So, and now for the guard. This is where it fights back a little bit. Hey, what did I expected? I am assembling a 1 to 72nd scale thing. Alright, I've got it right. And here is how it is supposed to look. Give me a moment. If my cell phone, it focuses. And with all that said and done, and with the steps that I have skipped, we have made it to the end of the upper hull assembly. Next up we have the turret. Probably I will be able to assemble the whole thing in this video. Turret has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 steps. And let's get the parts started. Let's start cleaning the parts up, and we're gonna move from there. Take number 1,000,000, and we are counting. And I am back for our first part of the turret assembly. As you can see in front of you, we have the turret ring and the turret parts in general. This is a combination of 2 steps, step number 19 and step number 20, and the only thing I have done off camera was to glue this and these 2 tiny pieces on the turret, because there is no way to catch it on film. Now let's start with the assembly. And of course I'm gonna glue the 2 bigger pieces first. Then I'm moving on to the canvas cover of the manlet. That's how this thing is called, if I am not mistaken. And finally we have the hatches. Over here we can choose between 2 options. Of course, as before, I have chosen the option that is for the Soviet and Vietnam version. And this is how it is supposed to look like. The first part of the turret is ready. Now we're gonna move on and attach the main gun and the hatches. Let me remove the parts from the sprue. Choose the right ones, because over here in the hatches we have some more differences between variants. And I'll be back once again. Now is the time for the commander and loader's hats and the main gun of the tank. I have made my choice, chose the right hatches for the Soviet version that I'm going to do, and let's put them onto our vehicle. I'm gonna start with this little part that goes over here in the top of the turret. I think that this is a vision block. Guys that have more knowledge on T-55s can tell me if I am correct in the comment section below, of course. I don't build so many modern tanks, so my knowledge on them is limited. Not that I know that I know a lot of them, but even from the older ones I don't know a lot, but I still can recognize some pieces. I'm gonna keep the hatches closed. There is detail if you want to keep them open, but since I don't have a figure or anything, I'm gonna keep them closed for this build. And I think that I got it straight looking straight. It is a breeze to see how the parts of this small kit fall together and line up easily. They almost click in place, and we have most of the turret done. This is how it is supposed to look like. Now, next up, according to the instruction, we have many detailed pieces like turret hooks, grab handles and stuff like that. I'm gonna skip filming of those parts because I cannot do it on front of the camera. These are tiny pieces, and I'm gonna be back when the turret is on its final form. See you then, guys.
Bye.
Bye from my girlfriend. And we skipped ahead of time, and you see nothing in front of you, but believe me guys, I have made some great progress. Here it is, everything in one piece. I have all the turret and small pieces assembled, and I tell you, it was no easy task at all. Another couple kits are like this and I'm gonna be a professional tweezer user. I have added grab handles onto the turret, the anti-aircraft machine gun, spotlights or infrared, I don't know, I'm gonna call them spotlights. Guys that know better can enlighten me in the comment section below. And tiny pieces like turret hooks over here, and pieces like these two that probably are there to hold something that I don't have or is not included in this kit. And again, guys that have knowledge can enlighten me. And as you can see, the main assembly is finished. Everything is on apart the spare tracks on the rear, the wood log on the rear as well, and a couple of stuff like cleaning rods and extra parts. And with all that, we have made it up to the end of this update. I would try to paint it, but I think that this video is lengthy enough, and I'm gonna do another separate video dedicated to painting and weathering. So Past George is gonna say bye bye for the time being, and I'm gonna leave you to future George to tell you the rest of the stuff. See you on the next update, guys. And with all that said and done, we've made it to the end of this update. Sorry. Before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching. I also want to welcome any newcomers. I hope that all of you guys are enjoying my videos and what I do here. If so, you'll know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Damon, signing out.